How the hell do you find inspiration in art? Where can you find it?
Pain. Fear. Aggression.
You have Warhol, Mona Lisa, and Frida Kahlo. Each piece I approach, I do have that frame of mind where I want to reflect a classical work and reinterpret it for today's society and hopefully start a dialogue.
Far deep in YouTube land, there is an art community, an army of thousands, where grass people dance, they paint, they draw anime, a lot of it. But one day, a man decided to take on art. Trying to draw, he drew, and started to evolve. There's something to be said in your community about grown-ass adults drawing Asian anime, because it's kind of like,
Asian assault?
Molly, let me explain. That one was in the wrong section of the video store.
Oh, you're
I
gonna
thought
lie
it
to
was a
my
kung
face.
fu movie with
Really?
Bruce Lee.
Okay, Pacific
No
Rim
idea.
Job.
All right, well, that one I kind of know about.
Oh, Beijing Bang Bang?
I'm just gonna say it. It's kind of creepy, like, to catch a predator.
Thank you.
There, I said
He
it.
asked for snacks, and he's more than happy to oblige. A bag of chips, a caramel-covered chocolate bar, and a giant bottle of iced tea.
But I made you some sweet tea on the table over there. What is it with sweet tea and pedophiles? They see that shit, it's like cheese to a rat. Is that sweet tea? I'll go to prison for 1,000 years. I don't give a crap. That stuff is delicious. And that's when Mr. Cockblock comes around the corner. Chris Hansen, the most despicable white person on the face. What an arrogant douche, this guy. He's so arrogant, I'm actually pulling for the pedophiles by the end of the show.
And then, the art community was like,
Whatever. Those rules aren't real. They were real that day I wore a vest. Because that's what's disgusting. You can't sit with us!
how the hell do you find inspiration in art? Where can you find it? What does it look like? How do you become an artist?
I'm an artist.
Oh, what kind of thing do you do?
Anger. Pain. Fear. Aggression.
Watercolors or...
Some bartender, what are you? You're a waitress. Excuse me, I'm an artist.
I said, what kind of bird are you?
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Henry Haight. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and today's video is going to talk about where I get my inspiration from and how I come about with some of my pieces. Normally I like to reflect on classicism, and virtually as much as I like to think that I have this punk rock DIY ethic, I virtually do look at other artists throughout history to create a new perspective on what is now in modern society. Behind me is an oil painting in the works, and virtually Blame It on Rio, which is a work in acrylic. The first one, the Blame It on Rio, is started a series on one, identity, and two, going back to my youth, because being here in California at the moment reminded me of the things that influenced me. Punk rock, Patrick Nagel, Marilyn Monroe, as well as humor of virtually the creation of the Muse, Botticelli's The Rebirth of Venus, and how would I create something like that? And reflecting back on what I was attracted to looking at visually as a kid. Patrick Nagel was an illustrator and a painter he painted for Playboy, and his most famous work was the Duran Duran Rio album. And he did two covers for them. I like the Rio one, but I preferred the one with the girl with the hibiscus image. So I had both. I think it was an EP and the Rio, but that was back in the new wave. Had vinyl. Las Tres Gracias, or the Three Graces. You have Warhol, Mona Lisa, and Frida Kahlo, based on Greek mythology, and the deities or the goddesses that virtually did love, grace, harmony, music. They were different than the muses, but they brought beauty and all these other things. And these three women personify that in art. And virtually, I'm trying to diffuse how we do this, which all three women make a completely different woman. And you can see acrylic is much easier, but oil takes a lot more of a discipline and time. What am I trying to say? There's definitely a method to oil painting, and I try to follow the masters and then put my own spin on it, but I still have to follow the rules of this, and virtually editing and working this. With the Blame It on Rio, you see the Patrick Nagel and kind of like a Jack Kirby Cramps-esque monster face, and as well as Warhol with a split face, kind of Two-Face from Batman. And it says it's a Lacroix Sweetie. And because the weird thing is that I thought it would be funny when certain people buy my work, on the back it says, wow, it's a Henry Haight. And it's kind of a piss take on it. It's a Lacroix Sweetie.
Lacroix, sweetie. It's all right, isn't it? It's a bit tight, maybe. It's all right, isn't it? People will think, wow, it's a Lacroix. Okay? Thought I might scrounge a coffee. No, well, darling, I can't. I'm in a dress I can't. Saf is here, though, all right? What are you wearing, Eddie? Lacroix. It's fabulous. Good, thank you.
Yeah, but I try to have some kind of humor into my work, as well as virtually trying to master color theories, and virtually again reflecting a lot of masterpieces kind of in the golden ochre reds and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to make things pop in oil as well as with acrylic. Each piece I approach, I do have that frame of mind where I want to reflect a classical work and reinterpret it for today's society, and hopefully start a dialogue. One of the first pieces I ever became known for was for my faith, the Theresa, based on the Basilica's The Ecstacy of Theresa by Bernini. And I like the idea of a woman praying to the height of orgasm and ecstasy, where the angel is supposed to pierce. That's the moment of like the orgasm and the O face that you see in the marble. And the weird thing is that when I look at the Bible, I'm not religious by any means, but because I approach the work kind of like the cover of a tabloid magazine or a fashion magazine, we now take, if it's in print, it has to be gospel. Or they especially with fake news and all that other stuff, it's that kind of stuff. And then it says, oh my fucking God, which is, what people say sometimes at that height of passion. But I always try to have a classical reference in my work to virtually showcase and honor the work that was before me, because I'm trying to be original, but reflect. When I look at an influence on me like Vivienne Westwood, she always referenced the past and history. And when I started going to galleries all over Italy and France, as well as in England, a lot of religious work is quite violent, and you're just like, what the hell? Controversy. About 20 years ago, I did a tattoo on a client who wanted a painting of Jesus as a boy. That the painting was hanging in St. Paul's Cathedral, and virtually I would make my way to St. Paul's Cathedral to look at some of the contemporary art. Normally, they always have a changing selection of contemporary art within the classic realm of the grandiosity of the cathedral, which is breathtaking to, if you can see it, just like do. But the juxtaposition of contemporary art with the masterworks that virtually came with the building over time, really spoke to me. And this one particular image is, I wish I could find the artist, but I have the tattoo where he just wanted the little boy, and Mary is standing behind him, fearful of what will become of Jesus as a young boy. And it was done in these pewter patina hues and stuff. And I never forgot that. So I had to go see the painting because a lot of people it was kind of a post-apocalyptic version of Jesus as, his tragic foreshadowing of the crucifixion. And I've always kind of liked those elements of kind of putting a modern twist on things. One of the first paintings I did a few weeks back, 2 months back, was a retelling of Pieta. I've not seen the painting, but it's been drummed into me as a little boy growing up in a Catholic household. I'm not religious, but, my mom saw the painting. She's like, no bueno. But the strange thing is that I was growing up gay, knowing I was gay. I mean, I started to understand there was something different about me around 12, but then, being drummed and catechism, which sucked. Sunday school on a Saturday, I missed my cartoons. As a young boy, you want to hang and see cartoons and stuff, and virtually I would have to go to these classes to tell that you're going to burn in hell, and homosexuality was wrong, and it's a sin, and mortal thoughts were bad, and stuff. And knowing myself, I just virtually I don't want to take a piss on it, but virtually I've always been fascinated with the fact that a lot of religious art kind of mourns human emotion, as well as, and I'm trying to figure, okay, how, I don't want to do something, in a realistic way that virtually says, oh, this is, pain and suffering, but if I could approach it and do happy colors that are quite jarring, and tell a different story, then, and that's how I try to approach the process. I virtually start with a digital composite, and then virtually try to figure out if this is going to follow suit and edit. And virtually with screen printing, I have to make the acetate transfers and stuff, and virtually I don't know what I'm going to actually, the color palettes, until I actually start mixing them. Same with the painting. I can paint over something and virtually, no, I don't like that. It's just like, it's wrong. And like the Blame It on Rio, I think I did 3 or 4 different hues variations to where I'm like, I was happy with this one. Same with the Maryland Pink, because you can see that this one's more of a peach and this one is more of a shocking pink. That's how I go about, these things. It's like, I'm more instinctual, going by my instinct of how I'm going to create these. But I still have a map of how I'm going to structure a painting. But all my work normally does have some sort of classical reference to the masters, in the context of how I view the world. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this story and you like this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that notification for updates and all that. And if you ever want to come by and visit henryhatefineart.com or follow me, Sir Henry Hate or Henry Hate Fine Art on Instagram. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Keep creating.